حامل القرآن قد
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته يا دكتورة نصرة دكتورة رحمة. السلام عليكم يا نصرة.
وعليكم السلام.
السلام عليكم يا رحمة.
وعليكم السلام.
So today, inshallah, we're gonna try to revise, or we're gonna try to sum up 2 chapters of Tajweed. So the first chapter talks about isti'aza, is a manner of seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ, which means whenever you recite the Quran, you have to say isti'aza. Isti'aza, which means أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. So there is an agreement among the scholars that we have to say isti'aza according to the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever we gonna recite the Quran. Am I right?
Yes.
But what is the disagreement among the scholars about, shall we say isti'aza silently or loudly? When should we say isti'aza silently, ya Nasra?
When you're reading the Quran alone, or
Exactly. So in the salah, can the imam say isti'aza loudly?
how?
Now he have to say it silently, right? With
Yeah.
an imam or a person who pray alone, you don't need to say isti'aza loudly. You just need to say it silently. What about if you recite the Quran alone? Do I have to say isti'aza?
Yes.
You have to say isti'aza, but in this case, you have to say it what?
Silently.
Silently. What about Ya Rahma? When should we say the isti'aza loudly?
When you're reading the Quran and other people are listening.
Exactly. What about if we are in classroom and our people are listening to each other? Shall every one of us say isti'aza?
Yes.
Recite Quran in turns. If we recite Quran in turns, in group, shall every one of us of the group say isti'aza?
Yes.
Okay, shall they say it loudly or silently?
The first reader should say it loudly and the rest should say it silently.
Exactly. What about if I've been interpreted, if I've been cutting or interpreted by coughing or sneezing, or looking for or understanding an ayah or discussing with my friends about the meaning of the surah or an ayah? Once I come back, shall I say isti'aza again? Shall I repeat isti'aza again, Ya Nasra?
No.
You need to repeat isti'aza. But if you've been interrupted by a worldly matters for a long time and you need to come back to the Quran, so you need to say isti'aza in this case, okay?
Okay.
Moving to saying basmalah, saying Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Is basmalah a part of each surah of the Quran, which means, shall I say basmalah each time I recite Quran, Ya Rahmah?
Yes.
With all surahs of the Quran?
With all surahs except for Al-Tawbah.
Except one surah, we call it At-Tawbah. So
Al-Tawbah.
the ulama agree that the basmalah is an ayah, is a verse of each surah at the beginning. So once you recite the Quran, or once you recite any surah at the beginning, you have to say basmalah. But except one surah, which is Surah At-Tawbah. Why Surah At-Tawbah doesn't start with basmalah, Ya Rahman?
Because it was
Because it was revealed by canceling what?
the treaty.
They're canceling the peace treaty between the Muslims and the hypocrites and all the Jewish people. So now, there is agreement among the scholars that basmalah is a must at the beginning of each surah except Surah At-Tawbah, right?
Yes.
What about if you're gonna start reciting from the middle of the surah? Shall I say basmalah and isti'aza or not, Ya Nasra? In both cases, I have to say isti'aza, right? And we have been explaining about isti'aza. Shall I say it silently or loudly? But no disagreement that we have to say isti'aza whenever we're going to recite the Quran, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm talking about, shall I say basmalah or not?
You should.
When should I say? When I'm going to recite Quran from the middle of the surah. Shall I say basmalah in all cases?
No.
So what about the cases, Ya Rahma?
The cases that speak in the ayah that speaks of Allah or His attributes, then you should say basmalah.
Yeah, exactly. So it means it depends on the ayah that you start reciting with. If it talks about the Jannah, about the believer, about positive matter, about Allah's names, Allah's attributes, then Basmala is recommended. And some ulama said it's a must to what? To make a separate between seeking refuge and the ayah that talks about Allah's mercy or Allah's names or the Jannah or the believer. What about if the ayah that I'm going to start to recite with, it talks about the shaitan, talks about the disbeliever, about the hellfire? Shall I recite Basmala?
No.
You don't need to say Basmala. You just have to say Isti'aza and then you can go directly, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran. Here are examples. So, let's apply this with these examples, this ayah. If I'm going to start with Allahu nuru samawati wal ard, that it talks about Allah's names or Allah's attributes. Shall I say Isti'aza and Basmala? Ya Rahman?
Yes. Yes.
What should I say?
Pardon?
What should I say? Can you apply? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره, right?
Yes.
Okay, what about the second case here? If you're gonna start with this ayah that start with الشيطان يعدكم الفقر, we say we don't need to say basmala, right?
Yes.
What should I say?
You just say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
And then you go directly الشيطان يعدكم الفقر ويأمركم بالفحشاء, right? You don't need to say basmala.
Yes.
Okay, great. Is it clear about the manners of Isti'aza and Basmala, ya Nasra, inshallah?
Yes.
Okay, let's move the second chapter. It talks about the rules of Nun Sakin and Tanween. How many rules of Nun Sakin and Tanween do we have, ya Nasra?
4.
What are they?
Izhar, Igam, Rihlat, and Ikhfa.
Let's talk about the first rule, ya Rahma, which is Izhar. What are the letters of Izhar? Letter do we have?
Hamza, Ha, Ain, Ha, Ghain, and Kha.
So if Nun Sakin or Tanween followed by any of these letters of Izhar, what should we do, ya Nasra?
You should pronounce it clearly.
Yeah, exactly. Why? Because the Nun Sakin followed by one of the letters of Izhar. Can you explain with examples, ya Rahma, here? Like, for example, here. This one. Can you tell me what is the rule? What is the hukm here?
The rule is Izhar.
Yeah, the Nun Sakin followed by what?
Followed by Hamza.
Here, ya Doctora, is this Hamza?
Yes.
No, this is not Hamza.
Oh, it's It's Ain.
Exactly. So the Nun Sakin followed by Ain, so it's one of the letters of Izhar. So we have to pronounce Nun Sakin and Ain clearly. Can you apply this, ya Rahma, please? Can you recite that?
Min Ain.
Min alaq.
Min Allah.
Okay. Let's move to the second hukm, which is, what do we call it, ya Nasra? The second rule?
Idgham.
Yeah, what does idgham mean, ya Nasra?
It means to merge.
Merging, exactly. How many letters do we have in us?
6.
Yeah, they gathered in.
Mean. They.
They gathered in Arabic word.
Yora.
Yarmaluna. Which is ya, ra, mim, lam, waw, and nun, right?
Yes.
How many types do we have for idgham, ya Rahma?
2 types.
Exactly. What are they?
Idgham with gunna and idgham without gunna.
The letters of idgham with gunna is?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It gathered in a word. Yanmu. Ya and nun.
Yom.
Ya, nun, mim, and waw, right?
Well, yes.
So let's show you with examples. If you see the first example here, Ya Rahma, the Nun Sakin followed by waw. So what should we do here?
You should mix it, put it together.
Yeah, you should merge or pronounce them clearly. We should merge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shall we make ghunna or not?
What?
Shall we make nasalization or not?
You should.
Yeah, can you please recite them? Can you apply this? This is a way how you're gonna see in the Quran, and this is a way that you're gonna recite it, right?
Yeah.
So can you apply it, Ya Rahman?
موخدي
من وجدكم.
يوم أجدكم.
I wanna hear the nasalization, the ghunna. من وجدكم.
من وجدكم.
Let's remove the second one.
ومن
ومن or ومن يؤمن. You merge or you pronounce noon.
ومن يؤمن.
You merge noon with ya, right?
Yes.
Shall I make ghunna or not?
You should.
Yeah, why? Because it's one of the letters of idgham with ghunna. For idgham without ghunna, ya Nasra, how many letters do we have for idgham without ghunna?
2.
Only lam and
Ra.
exactly, yeah, Doctor. So if you see the nun sakin or tanween followed by lam and ra, then you make ghunna, but you don't make another. You make merge idgham, but you don't make ghunna, right?
Yeah.
Can you apply this, ya Nasra, please? Nun sakin followed by ra, one of the letter of idgham without ghunna. So what should we say? Al-Rabbihi, right?
Arabi.
So what did you do? You merge the noon with ra, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the first one, can you apply Ya Rahma, please? And explain to me.
يأكلون.
يَكُلَّهُ. So the noon second followed by what?
By la.
And this is one of the letters of
إلغام.
idgham without ghunna, right?
Yes.
The third hukm or rule is what, Ya Nasra?
إقلاب.
What is the letter of iqlab?
Ba.
So if you have the noon or tanween followed by ba, what should we do, Ya Rahma?
You should change meme into. You should change noon into meme.
Yeah, you should change noon or tanween to meme. Like for example, can you explain this? Here noon followed by what?
Followed by ba.
So in this case, what should we do?
You should change noon to meme.
So can I say layum bazanna or layum bazanna? Shall I pronounce it noon or meme here?
You should pronounce it meme.
That's why the Quran always put like small meme above the noon sakin if it is followed by ba, right?
Yes.
The last rule is what, Ya Nasra?
Ikhfa.
Ikhfa, which mean hiding. What are the letters of ikhfa?
All the rest of the letters.
Yeah, the rest of the letters. What should we do in ikhfa if the noon sakin or tanween followed by any letters of ikhfa, Ya Rahman?
You should hide the noon sakin and make
ghunna. And this ghunna can be strong ghunna or a weak ghunna. If it is followed by heavy letter, it should be strong ghunna. If it is followed by light letter, it should be light ghunna. What are the letters? What is the difference between heavy letters and light letters in Arabic, Ya Rahman?
In every letters you say with your full mouth.
Yeah, exactly. What are they? The heavy letters? They gathered in خصة
خصة
ضغط Fizz, right? What about the light letters? The rest are the light letters.
The light letters.
These are exercises for the second chapter of Tajweed, Nasra and Rahma, inshallah. So I want to send it to you, inshallah, and I want you to answer them and send them in the group as a homework. Okay?
Okay.
So in each ayah, for example, Abidan is a salasi, we'll say that tanween followed by hamza. So the rule here is izhar, and we have to pronounce the tanween and then we sakin clear. Okay?
Okay.
جزاكم الله خيرا يا بنات. Till the next time. في رعاية الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Walaikum salam.
The Quranic Academy, your Quran and Arabic journey starts here. To learn Arabic, recite the Holy Quran and be knowledgeable about Islam, just join Rihlatal-Quran Academy. Visit our site rihlatal-quran.com and follow us on social media sites, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram, and why? Rihlatal-Quran, your Quran and Arabic journey starts here.